Welcome everyone to our last Get Healthy call for this session. We're going to cover lots of great information tonight. So those of you who are watching the replay line, it's jam-packed full of amazing information. So grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, take some notes because we're going to go quickly through the information. First of all, I want to share with you one of my favorite shakes of the week, the Great White North Eye Opener. You start off with 3 scoops of vanilla Nutrimeal, 10 ounces of water, a teaspoon of maple syrup, what's more Canadian than that, some instant coffee, some ice, blend it up, and it's absolutely delicious, and it'll get your morning started with that instant coffee. Or you could also use cold coffee. Let's say the night before, a cup of cold coffee instead of the 10 ounces of water, some maple syrup, your vanilla, Nutrimeal, and some ice, blend it up, and you have a delicious morning shake. Okay, we're going to talk about combining carbs, fats, and proteins. We're going to talk about the type of carbs you should use, the type of fats, and proteins. It's really important that our body, at every snack and meal, remember we're supposed to be eating 5 times a day, 3 meals, 2 snacks. Every snack and meal should combine carbs, fats, and proteins. And it's not healthy to eliminate any one of these. I know right now the keto diet is going crazy. Everybody's losing all this weight. It's wonderful. But eating just fat and protein is not a healthy way because carbs are very, very important. But it's the type of carbs that you select. So what I love about the Get Healthy program, it's not about eliminating any food group, but it's selecting nutritious carbs, nutritious fats, and nutritious proteins with every single meal and snack. Because every food group has important vitamins and nutrients. So by doing this, by combining the carbs, fats, and proteins of a high quality, you're going to have the side effect of fat loss. So you're going to have lots of energy. You will feel great. You're becoming healthier while releasing fat. And doesn't that sound good? We want to get back to whole fruits, whole vegetables, whole grains, organic lean meats if possible, along with exceptional fats and oils to help you release your fat. So not all carbohydrates are bad. Only the ones that spike your sugar levels are bad. Carbohydrates provide our bodies with critical vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants, which the body needs at optimal levels. And it's critical that every meal and snack have 40 to 50% of the calories from carbohydrates, but again, low glycemic carbohydrates. So this is what to avoid. And I know some of you love some of these, but these are the ones that are the culprits to our fat gain, particularly in the middle. Cakes, cookies, processed cereals, chips, donuts. These are high glycemic load, bad fats, just bad. Avoid anything basically. Avoid rice flour, rice cakes, rice noodles, rice. Now, the exception is probably wild rice or whole or brown rice. But that's once you hit your goal weight and you want to maintain, that's when you can integrate some of those starchy carbs back into your diet. But while you're into the fat loss mode, avoid rice. Bagels. You know, I remember in the 80s and 90s, bagels were such a trend because there were no fat and it was all, low-fat carbohydrates, which created a fat problem. Avoid bagels because of high glycemic, high calories as well. A typical bagel has 310 calories and 60 grams of carbs. So that's like 3 servings without the cream cheese. Yikes. So not a good selection. Avoid fruit juice. Have whole fruits instead of fruit juice because fruit juice is high glycemic. Again, no whites of any kind, no white flour, bread, rice, potatoes, spaghetti. Replace pop and sweetened beverages with water or herbal tea. One of the favorite things I drink from my use on a cup is I actually take fresh ginger. I grate the fresh ginger. I put it in my teapot and I put boiling water and steep it in boiling water. And what happens is the I get these great ginger. It's my ginger elixir, basically, and it's fresh ginger has anti-inflammatory properties, and it's just great. So I have a lot less soreness and stiffness after my workouts because I drink probably 5 cups of ginger tea every afternoon and evening, and it's fantastic for you. So replace the pop, the sweetened beverages, again, with water. Now the water could have lemon in it. It could be diffused with cucumbers, maybe summer fruit, or if you want something hot in the winter, herbal tea. Okay, healthy carbs. So these are what you're supposed to be eating. Whole fruits, whole vegetables, whole grain, whole legumes, nuts, beans, Brussels sprouts, one of my favorite, peas, apples, oranges, rolled whole oats, which I would recommend steel cut oats, cashews, and lentils. Now, you see in the picture, there's a couple potatoes. If they're fresh potatoes from your garden in the summer, they have a lower glycemic index. And if you use them in moderation, a little bit in a stew or a little bit in a soup here and there, it's okay for phase 2 when you want to maintain. Because potatoes do have quite a few nutrients, especially if they're fresh, those fresh summer ones. I love digging in my garden and getting the fresh potatoes and my hands dirty and I wash them off and they're just so flavorful and they're nutrient rich. When you buy legumes, now I like actually soaking black beans overnight with a big tablespoon of salt and baking soda. It gets rid of all the gas from it. I rinse it off. I like boiling it with onion and garlic and pepper, and it just, the beans become super flavorful. But it all takes time. And if you're having a hectic life, you're working, you got kids, then you're going to be having legumes from cans. So the best thing to do is take that can of black beans for a lot of my recipes and rinse it off, rinse the brine off of it, and then use it. Okay, some good alternatives. So choose wisely. So instead of white potatoes, use sweet potatoes. Instead of deep frying them or frying them, do sweet potatoes in the oven. Oh, that's a typo. You notice that? It says over. It's supposed to be oven instead of frozen potato fries. And in the Low Glycemic Meals and Mints cookbook, there's a fantastic recipe for sweet potato fries done in the oven. Try spaghetti squash instead of spaghetti. Again, delicious, super healthy for you. You just take that spaghetti squash, cut it in half, scoop out the insides, put a little salt and pepper on it, maybe a little olive oil, maybe a little paprika or cayenne. Take the spaghetti squash, put it upside down on a cookie sheet, bake it for 30 minutes at 400 degrees, pull it out, cool it off, and you just scoop out the spaghetti, and it's a little bit flavor because of the flavor you added before you baked it, and it's absolutely delicious with some spaghetti sauce or spaghetti meat sauce, or you could just add some a little bit of cheese and a little bit of parsley, other things like that. Again, there's loads of recipes on the internet for spaghetti squash. I recommend making your own salad dressing, and the reason being is a lot of salad dressings have fat, but not necessarily the good olive oil. They'll have things like, maybe canola oil. I'd recommend making your own salad dressings from olive oil, and also by making your own, you'd have less sodium or salt because most salad dressings are loaded with salt and sometimes sugar. So make your own salad dressings at the beginning of the week, shake it up, leave it in your fridge, and it's great. Salad dressing should have less than 240 milligrams of sodium. So if you are using bought salad dressings, take a look at the label and look at what the serving size. Most of the time we use way too much. A serving size is probably a tablespoon. And if you're like my husband, he probably uses like a cup. So look at the salad dressing, that container, find out the serving size and the amount of salt or sodium in that serving size, and make sure it doesn't go over 240 milligrams. Another tip is go in the summer when fruits are plentiful and super fresh and perhaps sun-ripened, like go to You Pick Strawberry Farm, pick your own strawberries and freeze them for your Nutrimeal shakes. It's going to be more, because they're sun ripened, they'll have more nutrition, more flavor, and it'll be a better price. Okay, so it's just general rules. Always eat desirable carbohydrates 75% of the time. So most of the time, eat really, really well. Then 20 to 25% of the time have moderately desirable carbs. And then 5% have the least desirable. Because it's not really realistic to not have the desirable carbohydrates, these treats once in a while, like a birthday cake during a birthday, or a scoop of ice cream, or small ice cream sundae in the summertime. I don't want you feeling deprived. This is not about being deprived. This is about moderation. So it's okay to moderately have these treats, but again, they're treats, not every day. It's okay to have a cookie versus a whole bag of cookies. It's okay to have a small piece of chocolate, dark chocolate, maybe in the afternoon for a treat versus the whole chocolate bar. So again, moderation is key, 5% of the time. So a little tip I have in the summer when I feel like, I'd like to have an ice cream. So instead of ordering a small, which is generally huge, I order a baby cone. A baby cone is still about a half a cup of ice cream, and it's just enough of a treat to make me feel satisfied that I've had a delicious ice cream. I savor every lick, every crunch of the cone, and make it last and really enjoy it. And once you start cutting back on your portion size, you'll find that a smaller portion will be very satisfying, because remember in week 1 we talked about eating slowly. Chew your liquids, drink your solids, meaning chew your solids till they're liquefied, and your liquids swoosh them around and make sure you really taste them before you swallow them. All right, take a look at this picture. There's that big old juicy hamburger. So what's wrong with this meal? Well, first of all, we got a white bun. So it's a high glycemic bun. That's setting yourself up for disaster right away. Then we have highly processed, high-fat cheese. Bad fats, wrong fats, saturated fats. Then we have a lot of condiments. Tomato ketchup. Ketchup probably has no nutritional value other than it's supposed to, but it's loaded with salt and sugar. So that ketchup isn't great. The pickles are probably okay. They're pretty salty, but that's the least of the problem. The hamburger itself, the protein isn't the problem. It's the fat in that protein. So in the recipe book, Low Glycemic Meals in Minutes, what they do is they take the hamburger, fry the hamburger, and then rinse the fat off of the hamburger, because it's not the hamburger itself that's bad, it's the saturated fat in fatty red meats. So I recommend staying away from those if possible, because instead, go towards maybe a soybean burger. Tofu is low in saturated fats, and you get a lot of good protein. It has omega-3s. And omega-3 protein will lower your LDL cholesterol, which is the bad one, while improving the HDL, which is the good one. So the best way to get healthy fats, and we need healthy fats to slow down the digestion and feed our body the healthy fat that we need to lose the fat we have in our body, the excess, is to get the fats from vegetables, nuts, and cold water fish. And when you have enough protein and fat in your diet, you will receive the 10 essential amino acids, and essential amino acids are essential to your body to build muscle and to maintain your health. So that doesn't mean you can never have a good steak, but a tip, when you have a good steak, make sure it's a small portion. You can have an excellent steak that's 4 to 6 ounces. So go for a small steak. Really 2.5 ounces is a serving. So if you have a 4-ounce serving of steak, that's almost 2 servings. Never mind these 10, 14, 16-ounce steaks, which is crazy. We don't need all that. So again, go for the smallest, most tender steak versus the quantities. So small, have a nice juicy steak once in a while, but avoid the buns and the fries and the potatoes and all these other things that go with it. So again, vegetables with your steak. Now, the next best fat and protein comes from cold water fish like salmon, mackerel, trout, sardines. My parents always crack open a can of sardines, and they often have that for lunch. Tuna, herring. My dad loves pickled herring. Good German he is. He loves pickled herring. And when I was young, he used to make his own big crock of pickled herring. He used to clean the herrings and chop them up and pickle them and put the onions with it. And so I'm used to eating a lot of pickled foods. I guess it's very much a Eastern European tradition. So you want to bring back the ratio from omega-3s and omega-6s in our North American diet, because we eat a lot of red meats and dairy, which have saturated fat, and omega-6s. Omega-6 fats are inflammatory, so we want to eat less of those. And in North America, instead of a 1-to-2 ratio, 1 omega-3 to 2 omega-6s, we often have a 1-to-20 or a 1-to-40 ratio. So this is also causing a lot of our inflammatory health problems like arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, allergies, asthma, things like that. Heart disease. So, look for those good omega-3 fats. Canned fish should be water packed if you're going to have your protein source from canned fish. And again, there's also problems with mercury, so don't turn to canned fish for all your protein, but once in a while it's okay. But have that tuna packed in water. The next best is chicken, fowl. So when you have fowl or chicken, duck, goose, turkey, where is the fat? It's in the skin. So skip the skin. I'll give it to my dog Gus. And eat the white meat. The white meat has less fat. So, so fish and fowl should be poached or broiled, not breaded and fried. And the Meals and Minutes cookbook, they usually take frozen chicken breasts, which are the best price, and they poach them to boil out the extra salt, plump them up, and it's a great protein source. That's lean protein without the saturated fat. Red meat and dairy are the worst source of proteins and fats. So always use no-fat or low-fat dairy, like skim milk instead of homogenized milk. Buy 2% fat, old flavored cheese. You won't need as much because it has the old flavor, which would be like old cheddar, has more flavor than the mild or medium. So you'll need less cheese, and always go for the low-fat variety. Use low-fat ricotta cheese instead of cream cheese. So just make healthy choices. And I love this picture with the plate. You got vegetables and fruit on half the plate, vegetables and fruit. Quarter of the plate is protein, and the other quarter is grains. Now for phase one, when you're trying to, when you actually are releasing fat, quinoa is an excellent grain. It's like a seed. It's a whole food. It has loaded with protein. You can just live on quinoa. It's a complete food. Again, you want more protein in your diet. Us women particularly aren't consuming enough protein in our diet. Quinoa, lentils, barley are all great grains for phase one. But what's the quantity? We're going to talk about that next or soon. This is Dr. Ray Strand's in his Healthy for Life his Healthy for Life book. This is his food pyramid. Look at that bottom of the pyramid. It is modest exercise, 30 to 45 minutes, 5 times a week. In fact, I'm looking at my Fitbit. I went to yoga class today, and I have not exercised. I don't have my 10,000 steps, and I only have 11 minutes of cardiovascular minutes. And my goal is 40. I like amping it up. 30 is the minimum, but he says 30 to 45. So I set my goal to be 40 minutes every day. So even though it's freaking cold out there, I'm going to bundle up, take Gus for a walk, and make sure I get my 40 minutes of cardio in. That's my goal. Cold or no cold, I get out there and do it. So modest exercise, and so that's cardio. Then also add your upper body and lower body. Last week we talked about the lower body. Today we're going to talk about the upper body workout for strength training. Add some yoga in for flexibility and balance. The next thing that's on the bottom of the food pyramid guide is cellular nutrition. Take your vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants every day along with your omega-3s. And loads of water, 8 to 10 glasses of water. Okay, let's talk about serving size. We got so much information to go through today. It's crazy. Look at the serving size, pretty limited. 1 cup for stew, 1 cup for casseroles, 1 cup for heavy soup. Now, when you measure that out, that is not a lot. And you're going to say, Sheila, what the heck what's going on? That's all I can eat. That's all we really need, folks. The problem with us in North America, we eat too big a quantity. And I find a lot of people at this stage of the Get Healthy program are eating better, but still too much. So these are the serving size: 6 to 10 nuts, 2 to 3 ounces of meat, which is the size of a deck of cards. So not the big old steak that's filling up your own plate, just, like half a palm or the palm of your hand. And if you look in the journal I've emailed you, there is a guide for serving size, and you just use your hand. 1 ounce of cheese is about the size of 4 dice. A half a cup of cooked pasta is all you need. Half a cup. That's it. I find when I go to restaurants, they give you about 4 cups, which is enough to feed a whole family for one supposed serving. So we eat way too big quantity. Half a cup is a serving of pasta. And a medium piece of fruit is the size of a tennis ball. And I know after this, some people get really upset. But if you want to be lean for life, if you watch lean people, and I look at my daughter Hope and how much she eats, it's small quantities. She said, Mom, you taught me, eat small to stay small. So she eats often, but it's small quantities. Okay, shopping. Shop the perimeter of the store. Choose foods as close as possible to whole and natural. Choose fresh, then frozen, then canned. Eat a variety of colors, a kaleidoscope, dark greens, oranges, and reds. Do a weekly menu plan and make a grocery list, because otherwise you might be tempted by all the inside rows and all the processed fast food that groceries sell. Never shop hungry. Oh my goodness. Have you ever shopped hungry? Everything goes into your cart. There's no shut off switch for the temptation. So never go hungry. Be cautious of the free samples, especially at Costco. Select the free samples very carefully and take time to read food labels. Check the serving size. Make sure you're not overeating. Check the calories per serving. Is there trans fats? Stay away from trans fats. Look at the total carbs, the fiber, the protein, sodium. Remember, sodium serving not over 240 milligrams, and sugars. I think there's a slide coming up that's going to talk a little bit more about that. Okay, upper body. So this is in the guide. I have put together a lower body and upper body. So what I'd like you to do is to do the upper body one day, lower body the next day, upper, lower, and trade off every day. That way you're going to get your 6 minutes, and it's only 6 minutes you could do it. So warm up, roll back, and shoulders roll back, and then roll forward, get your arms going. Then you do your push-ups from your toes, knees are against the wall, whatever's comfortable for you. Arm to knee connect, walk up, walk down. Oh, I see there's a typo there. Bicep curls, tricep kickbacks, and upright roll. If you are interested in what these are and you're not sure, and you're watching this the replay line, the video, please call me or text me, and I'm happy to explain these. Okay, nutritional supplementation is really important. When you're taking your essentials and your Bio-Omega, they're going to help enhance your immune system, so you won't need the flu shot. I haven't had the flu since I've been on USANA. It's been 23 years. It's going to enhance the antioxidant defense system. Decrease your risk of heart disease, strokes, and cancers. Like, that sounds fantastic, doesn't it? Decrease your risk of arthritis and macular degeneration and cataracts. And I'm 56 and I'm not wearing reading glasses. So I'm like thrilled. I take my Proflavonol Vision X every day, make sure that I have good eye vision. Decrease your risk of asthma and hay fever. Decrease the risk of Alzheimer's, dementia, and Parkinson's, and all these other type of degenerative disease. Like, isn't that fantastic? Like, take your supplements every day, folks. And it also improves your sensitivity to your own insulin. So that means you produce less insulin, and that means it helps release fat. Yay! So again, your essentials: 2 vitamins, 2 minerals in the morning, and 1 Biomega with your Nutrimeal shake. And in the evening, 2 vitamins, 2 minerals, 1 Biomega with your evening meal. Don't eat after 7. Okay, Pure Rest. Now we're going to be having a change to daylight savings time. It's really going to mess up our sleep patterns. So Pure Rest is really important to reset your sleep patterns. When you're traveling, it's fantastic. If you're getting less than 6 hours of sleep, you probably will be more likely to gain weight and not be able to lose it. So there's many studies. We need more than 6 hours of sleep every day, and good sleep. So we're really going to that good restorative sleep. Ideally 8 hours a night. And if you sleep 8 hours a night, you will need less caffeine. You won't feel like having that afternoon nap. You'll be way more productive, make more money, and be thinner, because you'll have less cravings for sugar. When you're not getting a good night's sleep, you're tired. You want more sugar and caffeine. So trust me, go to bed early and get up early. Early bird gets the worm, right? Early to bed, early to rise makes us healthy, wealthy, and wise. Well, I get up early every day and I get my workout in and I get fired up and I have a fantastic day. And look, it's 8:30 and I'm still feeling fantastic. So try USANA's Pure Rest. It's great. All right, we're in the wind-up. So where do we go from here? This is the last Get Healthy recording I'm going to do. We've been together for a good 6 weeks. I will be continuing to send some other information out, but this is our last Monday night call. So again, avoid all high glycemic foods at least 95% of the time. Take your essentials, your Biomega every day. You can throw in some other USANA supplements depending on your health needs. If you want a consult, I'm happy to do that. Minimum 10,000 steps. Wear your Fitbit, 10,000 steps. Alternate between upper and lower body workout in the health journal, or feel free to join the gym, go to classes, mix it up. But if you want to do a minimum 6 minutes 6 minutes a day, upper body, next day, lower body. Continue to drink 2 Nutrimeals a day, and we're bringing out a new bar. 1 week from today, we will have the Bio Bar, Micro, it will, what is the name? Oh, that's good. It is the Bio Micro Bar. Anyway, we'll see on Monday, but it's a microbiome. That's it. It's a bar that's going to feed the microbiome of your stomach. So it has prebiotics, probiotics, proteins. So it could be used as a snack or as a meal. It's like 230 calories and it's going to be great. It's all natural, no sugar added, but it has sugars from the natural sources like almond paste. So it's going to be satisfying, nutritious, chocolatey. So for me, it'll be like a meal, or it could be a snack. You cut it in half, have half of it for a snack. So it's gonna be great. You carry it in your purse, your pocket. So those are coming out. And once you hit your goal weight and you want to maintain, do what I do. I have 1 Nutrimeal a day for breakfast. I start my day with a low glycemic. I have my bar with me whenever I need a snack. I have a great healthy bar. I have great energy, great vitality, and I want you to have the same. So once you hit your goal weight, then you can start adding back those maybe sprouted wheat breads or wild rice, some of these little starchier carbs, but again, in moderation, and make sure you kind of keep an eye on the scale and how you're feeling. And again, always now connect how you're feeling to what you just ate. So the mind-stomach connection. Anyway, this is not a diet, folks. The Get Healthy program is a lifelong healthy way to eat for your ideal weight and ideal health. I wish you all the best from now and well into the future. So do follow these healthy guidelines and they will serve you well. So take care and till next time.